following Four Aces production is for mature audiences only. Listener discretion is highly advised.
Hey y'all, what's up? My name is K Double Double K, and I am here with the one and only Alpha. What's up, my boy?
Back again, once again, here to talk about some more fucking wrestling, right, my friend?
Oh yeah, big sweaty men in little sweaty suits, and women in little sweaty suits. It was WrestleMania weekend. It was WrestleMania weekend. It all started last Wednesday with TakeOver, and let me just say this,
man, I
like this format. I like the two-night format for the big events. I think it works. I think one, instead of having one 6-hour show, you have 2 3-hour shows. I love it. So,
much more digestible.
Easily. And it gives you time to process what you saw as you're seeing it, so to speak, you know?
Yeah.
All right. So the first event, of course, like I said, was last Wednesday night with TakeOver night 1, and then TakeOver night 2 was last Thursday night. I watched them both on Peacock as opposed to watching them on the USA. So I actually watched the 5 o'clock versions of them on Peacock.
Only night 1 was available on USA. I know they were both available on Peacock, but I know only night 1 was available on USA, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I kept I forgot that midway through, and so I kept questioning why every so often it would just like mute itself. And I'm accustomed to usual WWE programming where that usually means that someone fucking cursed, right? And that usually means someone like just screamed one right by the speaker, right? And so that's what I was used to. So this whole time I thought someone was cursing up a storm, when in reality those were all the little ad breaks, you know?
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, it was a. And let me say, let's start with night 1, and then we'll work our way through the card as we talked about.
Let's keep rolling as we do.
Zoe Stark versus Toni Storm was a decent match. Wasn't a lot. It was one of those matches that it's not going to go down in the history as one of the best TakeOver matches ever, but it wasn't by far a bad match at all.
Yeah. It wasn't anything incredibly special, and if I'm not mistaken, Zoe Stark actually walked out with the dub here, right?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, which I was really surprised by, because usually I'm accustomed to seeing Toni Storm go over everywhere she fucking goes. So, but yeah, no, it wasn't by any means an amazing match, but it wasn't absolutely fucking horrible either, you know?
Yeah. Now, next up, we got Pete Dunne and Kushida. We'll be talking a little bit towards the end of this segment about Kushida again, and what he did. You haven't seen it, but what he does on the Tuesday night NXT debut. But this match was a great lead into that, in the sense of showing exactly how good of a wrestler Kushida is. Not that he doesn't show us just about every time that he steps out and into a ring,
especially in this match particularly, right?
Yeah, but this match, he showed us exactly what he's capable of, especially in the ring with a ringmaster like Pete Dunne.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I enjoyed all of his spots, as he always does. You know, I rarely tire of seeing Kushida come off the top rope with someone in his grasps and land in a sideways fucking key lock. You know, it's amazing, and I'm never going to get tired of that. I always love the Masato Tanaka reference, where he starts at the beginning of the ramp and runs all the way down doing a stupid scream, and then just kicks him and keeps going. I love that stupid little Japanese-esque gag. I love things like that, and I hardly ever tire of seeing Pete Dunne maim people, and he always comes up with new and creative ways to break people's fingers. It's hard to get tired of, you know what I mean? You know, I think Kushida's going to get his heat back off this. I think Pete Dunne really needed this, though, considering he's been really, really light for the past 2.5 years now, ever since he became a father, which is fine. You know, I get that. But, yeah, wasn't bad.
All right. Now, this 6-man gauntlet eliminator match, didn't get a chance to see a lot of it, but I know that I got to see the last couple of matches, and Bronson Reed is a goddamn beast.
Ooh, fucking machine.
Like, we'll talk some more about some beasts that showed their faces at WrestleMania this year, but Bronson Reed showed that the WWE has a stockpile of beasts coming up the pipe on top of the beast that they already have that they're debuting at WrestleMania this year. So like Bronson Reed, boy, do your thing. Do your thing. Won himself an NXT North American title shot on night 2 by beating Isaiah Swerve Scott, Cameron Grimes. He's kind of growing on me. He's actually a part of my faction on WWE 2K20.
Smart man.
Which, by the way, shout out to WWE. I like the look on the graphics for the next gen for WWE 2K22 that they debuted during WrestleMania weekend. LA Knight, Dexter Loomis, and Leon Ruff to earn that title shot on night 2. So, what were your thoughts on that eliminator match?
You can kind of see, they put Cameron Grimes and Bronson Reed in a good bit of multi-man matches, which is fine because they do very good in them. They're very accustomed to that PWG multi-man chaotic ass style, and you can see it, and you can tell that Bronson Reed and Isaiah Swerve Scott and Cameron Grimes have worked with each other before. You can see their chemistry. It's very clear that they were picked from the same pool in PWG, and I've seen a lot of their matches interchangeably from way back then. And if I hadn't known that, I would have thought about the ending of this match a little bit differently when Bronson Reed ate like fucking 6 of Swerve's finish, which is like a house call, is it? I think it's called the house call, whatever it's called. He ate like fucking 7 of those and then still finished him instead. And if I hadn't known everything prior to this, I would think of it a little bit differently. But now that I do, I pretty much see it that, I think Swerve very clearly wanted to show that he respects the shit out of Bronson Reed here, wanted to really put him over. And they have a lot of years under their belt working with each other, so I wouldn't doubt something like that. And all in all, it made Bronson Reed look like a fucking beast in finish, and Swerve looked like a stone cold heel. It was really cool. I liked it.
Well, let me tell you something.
Real quick. I did like LA Knight's stupid little fucking promo. Go ahead, though.
I have loved Bronson Reed since I saw him for the first time. When I saw him hit that splash off the top rope, I was done. That's my dude right there. Any big guy that's that big doing splashes, that's my dude. It's kind of like when I used to watch America's Best Dance Crew all the time. You put a big dude on there grooving to some damn music, and I'm all for it. Like, same thing with the wrestlers. Give me a big guy that can move, because that's the whole thing about it. I grew up in the 80s when the big guys were more like Hulk Hogan than Samoa Joe. Man. And I'd rather see big guys like Samoa Joe and Bobby Lashley than Hulk Hogan. No offense to Hogan. His matches were great for their time.
There's nothing wrong with that, because in reality, it's like when you look at the roster, out of everyone there, who actually genuinely has the most actual combat experience? Yeah. Bobby Lashley and Joe may not be number 1. Yeah. I'd say easily top 5 though. Easily. Let's keep rolling now. Let's talk about what is probably, you know what? I'm gonna just say it. This was my favorite match of both nights.
Really?
Yeah. This was my match of the whole event.
I enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it a lot. And we'll get to this later, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I enjoyed Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole. But yes, the Walter versus Tommaso Ciampa easily. I would say over both nights, I would say NXT had at least 3 matches that were match of the year candidates. At least 3.
Easily.
That lined up as match of the year candidates.
No doubt.
Because they just performed. Walter showed exactly why demand's been. I'm going to say it like this. Walter has been NXT UK champion since I can remember. Like I don't remember who held the belt before him. And I don't think anybody has taken it from him since. Like, he has held it as long as I can remember. And so, like,
that is an insane capital on a title.
And so it reminds me of there's a guy named Shane Cody that used to wrestle for Big Time Wrestling out in Fremont, and he held the belt for, I want to say, like 5 years or something like that, 5 or 10 years. Like, nobody took the belt from Cody, and like it was but Walter deserves it. When you see what he did in that ring with possibly another one of those guys that's like a Benoit, that's just like a mat technician, and the size difference between the two was like kind of like watching Lesnar go up against Angle. Like, there was a huge size difference between the two, but that was negated by both wrestling skills. And so, easily match of the year candidate. Your thoughts, sir?
Yeah. Being my match of the card, I'm extremely fucking passionate about this. I'm very passionate about Walter and everything he's about and everything Ciampa's done for the past like 15 years. I love both of these dudes to death. So when this match was announced, I was already frothing out the fucking mouth. And it went just as much. It went just as great as I wanted to. I didn't think Ciampa was going to win the belt, and in reality, Ciampa shouldn't win the title. It's not right.
Yeah,
and you're
UK
right.
Title.
Walter's capital on the belt is fucking insane, and it's been insane for me watching this because I watched the original UK Classic tournament, when it all finished and Tyler Bate at 19 was crowned with the UK title. And then a few months later,
he faced Pete Dunne, right?
Pete Dunne
in the finals
at NXT TakeOver Chicago. Pete Dunne took it off him. It's been fucking history since. And so, I'm most familiar with Pete Dunne holding it, but I fucking love Walter, and I've always loved his work beforehand. And it was really funny because in the middle of the match, I was sitting there telling my family, most importantly my little brother, and I was like, I've seen so many matches throughout Walter's career where he doesn't even end it with his finish or anything. He doesn't end it with a power bomb or a splash or even the sleeper or anything like that. He ends it with a fucking lariat or a chop. And he was like, "You're joking." And I was like, "I'm not, dude." And I was like, one of my favorite matches of all time, PWG Jonah Rock versus Keith Lee versus Walter, ends with a fucking lariat from Walter. And it's great.
Nice.
Lo and behold, the match ends with a fucking chop. So, I loved the aggression. I loved everything they did to each other. They beat the living shit out of each other. And I didn't really understand it until after the fact. Ciampa ate 2 Walter power bombs and then still got up.
Mm-hmm.
And even if that final chop is what took him down, if I'm not mistaken, he's the only one to tank 2 Walter power bombs.
Yes.
Like consecutively and then get the fuck back up. And so
even if
Ciampa didn't fucking lose, I understand the testament of watching that man kick out at 1 through both of his fucking finishes.
Yeah.
So a lot of respect for both of them and this match. It was fucking great.
For sure. All right. So this next match, I don't know about match of the year, but definitely it was a candidate for match of this first night with MSK winning the tag team championships after Oney Lorcan and I believe Lorcan is the one that got hurt, correct?
Yeah.
They had to,
no. Danny Burch got hurt.
Yeah, Burch got hurt. But Lorcan and Burch had to give up. So this was a match to fill in those titles. And of course, the hottest team. Titles. Yep. The hottest team in NXT took them home. MSK.
Oh my God.
Wesley and Nash Carter defeated Grizzly Young Veterans and Legado del Fantasma. Now, as a tag team match, and this is not, call this my obligatory shot at AEW. I'm sorry. As much as AEW touts their tag team division, this tag team match was better than anything I've seen in AEW since its inception. No offense to anybody at AEW, but that match killed it.
Yeah.
Like you saw teams working and functioning as tag teams throughout the entire match. But your thoughts on the match, sir?
God, man. Yeah. This match was so fucking good. I loved the play of MSK versus GYV specifically, and LDF playing these slimy, despicable heels that cheap shot whenever they can in between these two valiant tag teams at each other's throats. And I didn't notice it until after the fact. It is really interesting that MSK is a group trained and bred in the West Coast of America, right?
Yeah.
And then you have Legado del Fantasma, who are both men who have roots to their trainings in Southern California and Mexico. Right. And then you have GYV, who have their roots training and being bred in England. And so you have 3 very distinct different wrestling styles meshing together in a fucking beautiful trifecta. Like, I'm sorry, the Doomsday device, like the suicide dive Doomsday device on the outside off of the ramp is probably one of the most memorable spots I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. And
Yeah.
watching, like you said, watching all of the teams not function as two different people, but they all functioned as basically two sides of the same brain, is tag team wrestling at its finest. If I had to grade this match, for me, it would be a 5 fucking stars. It may not be my match of the night, but I'm hardly ever disappointed with NXT's tag team division.
Thank you. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And then that led us to the ladies, the late man takeover, WrestleMania. The ladies fucking shined.
Mm-hmm.
Raquel Gonzalez, you have a brand new level of respect from me. And for the longest time, I thought she was just that big girl, and her and Io Shirai brought that entire house down. Spot of the night for me was Io Shirai jumping off the top of the skull and landing on Gonzalez.
God, man.
Killed me. I was like, oh,
dude.
I was the Joe Rogan meme. I was
yeah. No, it's not. It wasn't even that. It was for me. It wasn't even that she landed it. She landed it picture fucking perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Like from every perspective, that spot was fucking perfect.
And then the back and forth, the story being told in the match. There were so many times on which I was like, okay, Shirai's got this. Shirai's got this. No, wait a minute. No, okay, Gonzalez got this.
Bro.
Okay, wait a minute. No. Like I spent the match going back and forth, like as far as trying to call it before the finish, but ultimately I was happy with my initial pick, which was Gonzalez in this match. I just felt it was I think we're about to see Io Shirai make her main roster debut. Unfortunately, I think they may plan on tagging her with Asuka again, making her basically the new Kairi Sane, and I don't like that idea. I think she should maybe. I think a clash, a feud with Asuka would serve her better than tag teaming with her.
I agree.
But I think Io Shirai proved to be a strong champion, and Gonzalez proved that she had to be more than just a giant in order to get it done, and she definitely showed that she was.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it was a really, really well done match. Fuck yeah, no, you pretty much encapsulated everything I want to say. It was a really, really good match. Raquel is I'm not gonna say she's green, but she's very, very fucking fresh. She's very, especially to the eyes of the NXT faithful. Being here only for about a year and a half now, that is still very fresh. That's and all things considered, she's done a great job of coming over as a convincing monster heel without feeling contrived or some derivative of another form that we've seen before. It's really easy to just be a monster fucking heel. It's really hard to actually have some level of depth and humanity with that and still be a badass on screen. Raquel manages it all with a really good look and actually a really good moveset, in my opinion, it's all shit that she uses the repertoire of big guy moves that we've all seen before, mixed in with different things that I haven't quite seen before, like the weird flip out gory special things she did before. I've never fucking seen that before. So I give credit that, I can see that she's trying new things, and I feel like the win was well deserved. I think Io had a great run with the title, and I don't want to see her go to the main roster, obviously, but to put it into a small sentence here, I think the main roster needs more women like Io Shirai, even if I really love to see NXT's version of Io Shirai. I think the main roster needs Io Shirai right now.
Amen. All right, so I will put it to you like this. Does this make Raquel Gonzalez technically the first female Grand Slam champion in NXT?
Fuck.
Because she held the tag team championships, titles. And now she's held the women's championship.
Shit,
does that technically make it only 2 titles involved in that Grand Slam?
If there's more than 1 titles, it's still a Grand Slam, isn't it?
Yep. Okay. This is something that Bayley fucking none of them can claim now. That's hers. To claim.
Okay, look. If they can claim Johnny Gargano as a Grand Slam champion for having held all 3 of those belts, I would count her. I would count her.
Yeah. And just on the side note, like it blew my mind when I came to the realization that The Miz actually is a 2-time Grand Slam champion.
He is. He is.
I was just like, you have held all of those belts multiple times. God damn you, Miz.
Yeah.
God damn you.
And he may not have won it, but he has held the Money in the Bank twice.
Yep. Wow. All right. So
Yeah.
So let's move on tonight to
Let's keep rolling.
we can't get to it. There's not really too much to dig into. You got a classic match between between four skilled wrestlers in Drake Maverick, Killian Dane, and Tyler Breeze and Fandango. You know, you got a solid match to determine that Dane and Maverick, and we'll get to them a little bit more too later. They had their title shot against MSK on this week's edition of NXT on Tuesday. So, but that match was amazing. But just for time constraints, some quick thoughts on that match.
Yeah, man. Honestly, in the match, you know, I feel like Killian Dane and Drake Maverick are really coming into their own as a tag team. I really wish they could have had just a little bit more depth to it. I did like the pirate entrance by Breezango. They had a short and sweet match, and I do like that Drake Maverick and Killian Dane are really digging into this like what's the word here? Like fucking this Three Stooges level of like goofy violence on each other. It's like a stupid turn on the Bludgeon Brothers hurting people using each other. So I kind of like it, you know.
Yeah,
it's coming into their own, but it was a pretty standard match by all means.
For sure. Unlike the next match, which was a ladder match to determine the undisputed cruiserweight champion. And let me say this, Jordan Devlin, welcome back to NXT. Like, I understand you've been over on NXT UK doing your thing and all that, or you've been over in Europe doing your thing, but bro, welcome back, because that match was a hello and a half.
Fire as fuck.
As much as I like, I don't know, man, how that match went. If Santos Escobar deserved to win that match, I think Devlin deserved it more. But Santos is who we got. So, your thoughts on the new undisputed cruiserweight champion?
Man, I'm a bit biased because I fucking love Devlin. I feel like, in my opinion, like Devlin and Tyler Bate should be two people that Vince McMahon should be putting all of his fucking money into building as the next two big stars of the coming generation, because I feel like Devlin and Bate are the two big face and heel like potential of the coming generation. So I am a bit biased when I say I fucking love Devlin. But it was a really, really good match. I expected it to run at a much higher pace than what it did. That's not to say that it was bad.
Yeah.
There was a lot of fucking amazing spots, i.e. Devlin's catch DDT off the top of the ladder, and then Devlin later on in the match being put through a fucking ladder. You know, it was as great as you would think two extremely talented cruiserweights would be working at. It was a good match, but you know, I do kind of like I liked the poison in the mouth that it left of Escobar winning.
Yeah.
But I am a bit conflicted here because you see Escobar win completely fucking dirty. You're right. He didn't deserve to win. He used his boys to win. And then he takes the belts and poses with his son like he's the hero.
Right.
Like, you just valiantly won.
No,
you just cheated to win, bro. You want your kid to look at that as the example?
Oh man, he did take that Spanish fly though off them ladders. That backflip from Jordan Devlin off them ladders, man. That was woo, buddy. Somebody died on that one. Somebody's soul left their body on that move. I don't care what nobody said.
Left out of their lungs.
But yeah, it was a great match.
Yeah, man.
The next match after that was another one that was great. Like I said, it wasn't bringing down the house, but I got the result that I wanted off of it, and it was a good match to watch. I always love watching Shotzi and Ember do their work.
Yeah, man. Sorry. Yeah, I know. It was standard work by both Ember and Shotzi Blackheart. I like to see them beat the way. You know, if Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell actually walked out of this with the dub, I feel like that would have been the stupidest decision in the world. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, this was Indy Hartwell's return off injury, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I forgot how fucking tall she was. Sorry, go ahead.
No problem. I was like, not to mention the fact that you would have had the belts change hands like 2 times within a 3-week period of time.
Defense to defense, right?
You know, yeah. You don't want your first two champions. I understand now with the result at the end of the main event of night one, why they took the straps off Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai so quickly. But there's no reason for them to take them off of Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. They're fan favorites. They're great wrestlers in the ring, and they can put on a great match with damn near anybody. So
you're right.
All right. So that being said, let's work our way down to the final three. Gargano and Bronson.
The bulk, the meat of our review.
Right. Gargano was. Can I say this? I understand what they're doing, and I understand the reason why he kind of won had more to do with the fact that they're pushing the way as a group. And Johnny Gargano was the lead of that, and it makes sense for him to be holding his belt. But I thought this was really Bronson Reed's time. I genuinely think, I don't think necessarily a boat was missed, because I don't think he's become any less popular because of the loss, but I just felt like this was his time.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Especially considering, spoiler alert, looking back at the rest of the card, Raquel won. Raquel was the heel in that situation. You see Karrion Kross walk out, heel, dub. Yeah. And then Kyle walked out with a win here. I feel like it would have looked really fucking good if Bronson walked out with the win here. Not just because, this was his time, but because I feel like just in terms of timing of the year and where wrestling rolls on from the next year onward, I feel like it would have fit really fucking well. And not only that, look back at NXT. Does Johnny need this win? Does Johnny need this win to cement himself not only as a good champion, but as a good North American champion?
Right. He's a 3-time North American champion.
Exactly.
He no longer needs the belt to it's kind of like with The Miz. I was beginning to realize that about The Miz recently. Like The Miz doesn't need a belt in order to validate his career or his spot on the roster anymore. He really doesn't. And Gargano's one of those guys that, especially in NXT, he doesn't need a belt to validate his spot on the roster. So I don't understand why you don't give it to an up and coming Reed, who's definitely the hot iron in the frying pan right now.
Man.
We'll see. There could be other opportunities to strike with that. We'll see if they take it.
I know Reed will get his heat back. I know they're real good at giving back on that. I know Reed will get his heat back. But I know what you mean. Did Johnny need this? Nah.
The next match you called months ago. At this particular takeover, we were going to see Karrion Kross take on Finn Balor, and what we saw was easily one of the top matches of the night, if not the entire pay-per-view event. And Karrion Kross and Finn Balor beating the holy hell out of each other for a good 17 minutes en route to Karrion Kross regaining what he never really lost in the NXT championship. Your thoughts, sir?
Oh, man. So let's start from the top. I think Karrion Kross's ring gear now suits him way better than fucking before.
Okay.
I think the ring gear to start, much better look for him. Sets him apart way more.
Right.
I like that shit a lot. The spots in this match did better a job at making me cringe than anything that happened in Walter versus Ciampa. The spot when Balor back kicks fucking Kross in the liver, and then Kross flinches at him like he's gonna swing and just fucking collapses, burned into my skull. That shit was fucking awesome.
Hell yeah.
And I love the consistency of this. If Balor's new thing is that he targets the liver and the midsection, fucking awesome. Please give me that real human psychology, that study of the physiology and how it reacts type of shit. Because you know how the liver reacts to that shit, right?
Right.
You're aware of how that shit works, right?
Your liver shuts down.
You strike the liver, someone's going to go to their feet. Can't control it.
Oh, yeah.
And so I like that thread in Balor's stories going forward. And even though he did eventually lose the championship, I like the fact that he still, like, midway through the match stopped and decided where to target. I always like to see that shit,
That ring psychology.
That ring psychology. And I called this months ahead of time. Fucking, I did it. Like, the very second I was like, okay, look, bro, he has this because Kross got injured. Cross is going to come back and rip his ass in half, because if they were willing to let Cross go over Lee and go over Ciampa, he's going over Balor.
Yep. Let me say this. I hope to God they give us more than one match of this.
Yeah.
I hope to God
So
they continue this feud like somewhere down the line. But a feud that I'm glad to see come to an end, only because I don't think it's coming to an end, but I want to hope that it comes to an end, and that's Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole. And I only say that for the sake of Adam Cole's wife, Britt Baker, Kyle O'Reilly's wife, whoever she is, they children, if they have any, they aunts, uncles, mamas, and daddies, don't need to watch you beat the holy shit out of each other like that for almost 40 minutes.
Oh my God.
4-0. Do people see that? Do you see
Holy
that down
shit.
here?
Yeah, no, just 40 minutes. 40 minutes of beating the stuffing out of fucking each other.
And I'm glad they gave us the right victor in Kyle O'Reilly. God bless Adam Cole's soul for taking some of the bumps that he did in that match.
All of the bumps in that match.
As soon as the match was over, I text with Alpha. I'm like, match of the year.
Easily.
Match of the year. Easy. Like, so far, match of the year. Like, I'll put it to you like this. It had more blood and guts and was a more violent match than Moxley versus Omega in the blah, blah, blah death match.
In the fucking exploding barbed wire. Yep, easily.
Yeah. There was much more violence and just, cringe, like you said, cringeworthy moments. Just like, oh, wow.
Like, ooh, yeah. It had it.
But also I mentioned this to my significant other. I told her, I go, that's how you know these two guys in real life are probably best friends. Because you only allow a homie to do some of the shit they did to each other.
Fuck out of you like that.
Yeah, because you only trust that a homie ain't gonna kill you. So like you don't let just anybody do that shit. So at the end of the day, I can definitely say this. I like I said, we were texting back and forth, and I made the comment that the thing that really hit home with the match was that O'Reilly didn't pin. There was no emphatic pin.
He didn't hook the leg. He didn't push the face. He didn't even.
He hit his move and then just collapsed on top of the dude.
Yeah.
And the ref counted the 3. Everybody gave every ounce of piss, sweat, and everything else that they had to that match.
Mm-hmm.
And let me say, I was thoroughly, thoroughly impressed with it. Adam Cole, man, this is not the first time that you've been a match of the year candidate, and I doubt it'll be the last, but this is easily one of your best.
Man, if I'm being honest, this is my favorite of Adam Cole's litany of TakeOver classics. I have a great amount of passion for Kyle O'Reilly. Out of everyone in the UE, he has been and always will be my favorite. I've been a huge fan of him since his days in Japan, and it's his amateur style and his never say die character that really makes it so easy to get behind him, you know? And I loved the few little nods that they had here to their amazing match at the Tokyo Dome fucking years ago for the ROH title. I loved the nods to that so very much. Adam Cole here, in my opinion, is a better heel than he ever was in the UE. Because I find this lone-stricken, I hate everything, I trust no one, like chain dog off the leash Adam Cole, much more than cold and methodical Adam Cole.
Right.
That being said, you end up seeing Kyle O'Reilly end up matching him and meeting him in those places, right? Mm-hmm. And the spots are some things that I never could have fucking thought of. You know, wrestling fans, we see a lot of the same spots repeated, and eventually you start to think you see the same shit. This match was something the fuck else. You had apron spots I've never thought of. You see Kyle get put through the floor from a standing guillotine, and then Adam Cole has to break his ass out by booting the drywall to the side of it. That's some Pulp Fiction shit, man.
No shit.
And then how does the match finish? How do you even put it into fucking words? You see Kyle drape Adam Cole's damn near lifeless body over an upside down chair. And then he hoists his ass to the top rope, wraps his knee in chains, and then does a diving King Kong knee drop to the back of Cole's head, wrapped in chains, to collapse the chair, for him to hardly drape his fucking body over coals for a dub.
Yep.
That's a finish that I couldn't have thought of if I was sat in a room, hopped up on 5 drugs. That shit is insane.
Yep. For the ages. For the ages. And so, all right, man, I'm going to give us one last hot topic that we'll talk about for a quick minute. Like, we'll just run some quick thoughts. Since you haven't had a chance to watch TakeOver yet, or not TakeOver,
no,
NXT after TakeOver. Kushida answered an open challenge from Santos Escobar, and Kushida is your new NXT Cruiserweight champion.
That's
why I told you we'll come back to that.
That's so
hot
good. That's
hot
fine.
Topic real quick, bro. Give us your quick thoughts
All right.
on Kushida as your new Cruiserweight champ.
Lightning round. Okay, let's go. When I popped up on the show and I brought Kushida to the case before he even dropped onto the NXT roster, I talked religiously about his time in New Japan's junior division, and he made that shit his bitch for years and years and years. And you know what? If this is that direction, then fuck it, I'm with it. If he's the Cruiserweight champ to run it, that's fine, because I was exposed to Kushida right in the middle of his reign. This is all I need.
All right, so last quick thought. They had a moment on NXT this week where Raquel Gonzalez came out to give her speech about winning the NXT Women's title, and she was joined by Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair, for a photo moment.
That I did see.
So, quick thoughts on that, sir.
Oh man, yeah, I'm all about it. You know, if I'm being honest, all 3 of these women are women that have worked their way to the top, and I wish I could say that any 3 of them are ones that I don't respect. Early on, I didn't quite like Bianca Belair's character work, but over time, in tandem with her insane athletic ability, it's grown on me. So all 3 of them, honestly, usually this is where I would usually personally be like, you're a heel, you're a face, or a heel, you're breaking kayfabe, and I'd be all stingy about it. But just this once, you know, I think all 3 of them are deserving of that one moment, at least.
The next generation. All right, so we'll close it out there. Y'all, you are watching or listening to the Cheap Pop Podcast here on YouTube, 4Aces Presents Radio Network, Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio, Spotify, wherever you find your favorite podcast. Keep joining us here, because when we get back, we're going to talk WrestleMania. That's right, folks. A show so packed that we don't even have room for AEW this week. Love them to death. We'll talk about them next time. We ain't even got room for you this week. We're going to be talking WrestleMania 37 and Monday Night Raw from this week, and what we expect of Friday Night SmackDown as well. So thanks, y'all, for joining us. We'll be back momentarily. Peace. You're listening to the Cheap Pop Podcast right here on the 4Aces Presents Radio Network. Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and wherever you may find your favorite podcasts.
Interruption in progress. Now hijacking into ANS 2.0 immersion rig. Now simulating the Amazing Nerd Show. Featuring comics.
And Batman's like, you're safe here and everything, but the Joker all of a sudden pulls out a gun and shoots himself.
Movies.
People fight with lightsabers. What the hell do you want? I mean, in every one of these movies, there's a lightsaber battle.
Yeah, no problem. I'm gonna rewatch it a million times.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, give me something more.
Wrestling.
That would be awesome. Oh my god, just a monster. Fans would be like, holy, what the hell's going on? What happened to Jericho?
Horror.
It starts off like any other like home invasion type of story, and then it just goes crazy.
And more.
Hey, this is Christian.
Hey, this is Damon.
And we are the Amazing Nerd Show.
Make sure to download us on all your favorite podcast platforms.
Hello, Radio World. This is K-Double here to let you know about KD5P. K-Double's 5th Period Music Class, a bi-weekly music show here on the 4Aces Presents Radio Network, where every other Friday night at 8, I take you on a musical journey through the careers of some of your favorite musical artists. So check me out on Spreaker.com/4Aces Presents Radio, or on iHeartRadio every other Friday at 8 p.m. on Revolving Door episodes. Peace. KD5P.
From the galactic depths of the comic book universe comes the Ghosts of the Stratosphere, ready to galvanize and energize your mind with the latest of comic book news and reviews. And why are you stopping me? Yes, that's much better. Hi, this is Andy Larson for Ghosts of the Stratosphere. Join me every week along with my co-hosts Rob Stewart and Chad Smith, as well as a cavalcade of fantastic comic book guests, as we dish out heaping helpings of the greatest and latest of comic book news and reviews. New shows posted every Tuesday with bonus shows every first Friday of the month. You can find us on iTunes and Stitcher under Ghosts of the Stratosphere, as well as on our website, www.gotstratosphere.com. Hope to see you soon, folks.
And we are back, man. Now we get to talk about the big dogs.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, Alpha? The big dogs.
Yes, it's the granddaddy of them all. It's Christmas for Smarks. It's fucking WrestleMania season. Let's break it down.
Oh, yeah. All right, so let's get to it. Let's see.
Let's see. Where do you feel like starting? Because we had a pre-show match, didn't we?
Yes, we did. Hold on. There it is. All right. So no, actually, there was no pre-show match either night.
No shit. I forget. We started right off with the title match. Right.
Yep.
We didn't get a pre-show match because of the rain.
Right. But yeah, the rain was interesting. It was an interesting. Like I'd never seen a rain delay. Like, and what I mean by rain delay is a lot of people forget that. I think it was WrestleMania. Like, I want to say like 11 or 13 or something like that. That took place in LA. The one with Giant Gonzalez versus The Undertaker. It rained during that one.
Not 3, not 4, 5. Was that was WrestleMania 5? I think, wasn't it?
Was it 5? Because I just remember it was in LA.
I don't remember where it was, but yeah, I hear you though. I hear you though.
So, but yeah, so anyway, but it rained during that WrestleMania and they still kept going. But this one saw the rain delay, which was good for the people. And it opened up with a very strong contest. Night one opened up with Lashley beating Drew McIntyre with the Hurt Lock to retain his WWE championship. And they say technical submission. The reason why they use that term is because Drew McIntyre never technically tapped.
Yeah, it was technically by KO, by unconscious win, right?
So, yeah, man, like I was impressed with that match. I was impressed with that match. I thought for a second that Drew McIntyre was going to win. I truly did, but I'm glad he didn't. I'm truly, truly glad he didn't.
Really? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Elaborate.
I think that it's Lashley's time. I think that McIntyre held it for most of last year. Yeah. And it's just Lashley's time. And so, like, I think Drew McIntyre should remain in the championship picture, but I don't believe that, like, WrestleMania is where he already had that moment last year when he took the title from the Beast. Think about it like this. How long did Lesnar hold the title before McIntyre took it from him? I want to say close to a year.
Yeah, he held that for a minute.
Yeah, I want to say close to a year and a half. Then McIntyre held it for close to a year before Lashley took it from him.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, these are the type of title reigns we want. So it would be insulting to me, kind of like it was insulting for people with Kofi Kingston, if they were to have Lashley win the title when he did and then drop it like 3-4 weeks later at WrestleMania back to McIntyre. So it just felt right to have Bobby win this.
I get that, you know. I spent the last few months genuinely believing that this was all supposed to build up to another Drew McIntyre moment. And I don't know about you, but it kind of looked like that.
Yep.
It kind of looked like it was all building up to another Drew McIntyre moment. And I didn't have a problem with that. My only problem is I wish they started building Bobby Lashley at a completely different point earlier.
Yeah.
I feel like you're right, dude. This ended up being unintentionally an amazing Bobby Lashley moment. This was his crowning, and I didn't expect him to go over so fucking strong. And it wasn't unbearably clean because, again, you know, let's like I said with Walter and Ciampa, let's look at the fine print here. Let's look at a few things. If you look closely, Drew didn't hit the Claymore because MVP distracted him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have this amazing consistency with Lashley where his managers do amazing fucking work at saving his ass. And if you did notice something as well, did Drew McIntyre at any point hit a Claymore in that match?
Nope.
That's how you put over the Claymore strong.
Nope.
By making sure, much like I talked about when we were talking about Snyder Cut and we were talking about Darkseid, the only way to beat the Claymore is to make sure it doesn't fucking hit your ass.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was the thread. Yep. That was the thread. And so there's this prevailing idea as you think about it, and it's like, wait, if Drew would have hit that, that would have been it. 1, 2, 3, good night. But that didn't happen. And it was Bobby Lashley's moment instead. Hurt Lock, clean as night. I mean, clean as day. What the fuck? Clean as day. But no, it was clean as night. But no, it looked good. I like Bobby Lashley looking strong, man. I do.
For sure. So now the tag team turmoil match was good. It wasn't the best match of the night by far. But it was good. And I think, once again, WWE got the finish right. I think Natalya and Tamina were the proper team to go up against Nia Jax. We'll talk about night 2 and where I think they dropped the ball with that match in that finish. But I think that on night 1, for sure, Natalya and Tamina deserved to go over.
I agree.
Then you had the match that was one of my favorites of night 1 by far. Cesaro
go ahead.
beating Seth Rollins. 1-on-1. Cesaro gets his WrestleMania moment in his first ever 1-on-1 match. Need I say more? Go on, bro.
No, you want me to go first? Oh, okay.
Go for it.
Oh man, shit. Fucking up until night 2, this was my match of the card so far. Like when night 1 finished, Cesaro versus Rollins was my match of the night. Call me a smart, but that was my match of the night.
Okay.
I loved all the little calls to their times in Ring of Honor. You saw both of them bust out moves from way deep into their past. Mm-hmm. And it takes a little bit more closer looking with Seth Rollins. With Cesaro, it was much more apparent. So let's go with Seth Rollins first. And you saw Tyler Black break out the original Black Magic, which is that little thing where he hooked his leg with the left hip with his left leg, and then like back kicked him with his right foot. That's the Black Magic. It was an old move when he was called Tyler Black still. You saw him do the what is that called? The package pile driver. No, that wasn't a package pile driver. Where he rolls them up in a suplex at the same time. And he implants into it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I forget what that's called, but that was also his finish too for a long while in Indies. So you saw him break out moves like that, and then by the end, you obviously see Cesaro on the grandest stage of them all break out the fucking UFO, his old ass finisher from Ring of Honor, where he spins them on his shoulder without even using his hands, and he did that. And I like the thing with Cesaro that he's doing, where his matches end in a big flurry of fucking amazing moves. Yeah. It was great, and then you see Cesaro after the fact really relish in that WrestleMania moment. I loved this match a lot. I did.
Amen.
How'd you feel about it?
I liked it. I thought it showcased both wrestlers. I think you're 100% right in the thought process that it definitely showed that these two guys have been in the ring with each other for a while. Like they've known each other for a while. Like they've gone at it before because they knew how to counter each other's moves. They knew how to make each other look good. They knew how to make themselves look good with this particular wrestler. So, it gave us everything they wanted. And to see, like I said, to see Cesaro have his WrestleMania moment, for me, hopefully means that he's going to start seeing the push for his solo career that we've expected and needed for a very long time.
I agree.
The next match might as well have been titled the debut of Omos. Period.
The almost match.
The almost match. Because I love the New Day and I love them for putting Omos over the way that they did.
Yeah, man.
As this big scary dude, 100% thank you, New Day, because to be honest with you, I was impressed with what he was able to do. It was funny though, me and Carmen, my significant other, were talking. And I'm like, is he wearing a button-up shirt to the ring? And she's like,
what the fuck?
No, what the fuck was that? And she's like, no, he took off his shirt. See, he has no sleeves. He's wearing a wrestling gear. And I'm like, and then he turns a little bit and you see the button shine. And I was like, and he's wearing a button-up shirt. What the hell?
What the fuck is this?
But I will say they gave us a great job of AJ Styles being a quote unquote the heavy of the match and just kind of taking the full beat down from the New Day before finally tagging in almost to destroy both members of the New Day at his own discretion and then pin them for the tag team championship. So
yeah, man. Yeah, it was an interesting match to say the least. As much as I would love to see AJ Styles on his own, do his own thing, you know, I do gotta kind of admit, Omos is a bit growing on me. He's kind of growing on me, and this match honestly wasn't too fucking bad. I wish I could look into this lens and tell you that dude was as bad as Khali, that he was as bad as Giant Gonzalez, that he was as bad as fucking all the other shit monster dudes, but he wasn't. He actually came over pretty convincing, and his little moments were actually pretty damn entertaining.
Laughing at people.
As stupid as the button up is, you know, he was pretty fucking convincing still.
Yep.
It wasn't completely derivative. I liked it, all things considered.
All right. Congratulations to them, by the way, like on winning the tag team champion. Congratulations to AJ Styles on becoming a Grand Slam champion in WWE. Anybody, just so you know, as of this moment, anybody that says WWE didn't know how to use AJ Styles is just plain retarded. The man's a fucking Grand Slam champion.
Yeah.
He's literally won a belt at every level. So just shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about.
Even at this lowest level of play in a tag team match, in someone's first match, Styles manages to make it look really fucking good technically.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of people looking really good in their first ever wrestling match, we'll get to that in a couple of matches here.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let's see.
God, bro.
Next up, we ended up with Braun Strowman defeating, of course, as we knew, defeating Shane McMahon in a steel cage match. And, of course, there was the obligatory Shane off the cage bump against the big man. But I'll have to say one of my moments of night one, one of my top 5 moments of night one was Braun ripping that cage open to bring Shane back in instead of trying to pull him back up over the top. Just ripped the fucking cage down.
Yeah, man.
So
it was great.
It was a great moment.
Yeah, man. We all know we all. Oh, sorry, you had more?
No, go for it.
Oh, well, we all know how this goes. Shane comes in every once in a while, says, "Hey, I'm gonna beat up that big dude." He doesn't beat that big dude. We've been doing this for about 20 years now. We know how the story goes. We don't watch it for the ending. We watch it to see Shane McMahon get fucking hurt.
Yeah. My God.
Did he get hurt?
You know.
See, the best part about this is they know what they're doing. They just want to see Shane get some shit fucked up, so they kept it real short and sweet. As you'll see there, this match is only like, what is that? That's 11 matches, 11 minutes flat. That's fucking great. That's what you want to keep this shit to. If this match was like 20, 25 minutes, I would have had a problem with this. But because it was 5 minutes of Braun throwing Shane the fuck around in the cage, and then 5 minutes of Shane trying to get away and then getting thrown off the cage, it was fucking great. It was short, brief, crash, fuck up style wrestling. Wonderful. I loved it. Honestly, he did a great job of still making Braun look like a fucking beast despite having like no genuinely compelling story to tell here.
Exactly. 100%. I call it my A for effort match.
Yep.
Like you got an A for effort.
Honestly,
for sure.
A for effort, bro.
Now the next match was the surprise match of night one for me.
Sleeper fucking hit.
Yeah. Like, and to be real with you, it boiled down to this. I didn't expect Bad Bunny to carry that match. And I'm not going to sit here and say that the Miz and Morrison did do an amazing job putting him over. Yeah. I'm just going to say I didn't expect him to carry the match in the way he did. And anybody that says that they made him look good. No, this man proved that he put in the work to look good as a wrestler. I'm talking about what's the name of that move? The one that him and Priest did together in the center of the ring.
The bell clap and Falcon Arrow combo. Yeah.
Yeah. Like
bell clap, Falcon Arrow. Yeah.
Like really? And like, don't get me wrong. Like I jumped out my seat when he hit the Canadian Destroyer. When he hit the Bunny Destroyer, I was like, oh!
What the fuck?
Oh!
I marked out. I did. I marked out. I marked the fuck out because he hit it perfectly.
He hit it clean. Like he hit it
Perfectly.
clean. I've seen professionals try to hit the destroyer and fuck it up worse than he did. And so it was just like, and yes, I know part of that is Morrison and how he took it and so on and so forth. But bravo to Bad Bunny.
Oh man,
He came in,
bravo.
he did his thing, he had his WrestleMania moment. And the reason why I was surprised, because here's the thing about it. I didn't notice until after WrestleMania was over when I was reading some of the dirt sheets. But I guess Damian Priest was not cleared to wrestle till right before they went out for that match.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah. Like,
but what for?
I want to say a back injury or something like that. He's hurt. Like, and remember, you made the comment about burying Priest one night after the thing, and I think that may have something to do with it. I think he may be going off camera for a while to deal with whatever injury he's dealing with. But that was part of the reason why we didn't see a lot from him in the actual match. And like I said, Bunny carried that match.
You're right.
You know, in a match where it's a celebrity, like let's think back to one of my favorite ones to compare it to. Pac and Stephen Amell.
That's
who they faced off at SummerSlam.
That's what I was talking about. Cody and
Stardust and Stardust and Goldust. Wasn't it? It wasn't the Rose Brothers.
Sorry. I'll hold it till after. Please go ham.
Yeah, but no. But yeah, so like it kind of reminded me of that, except that if you remember that match well, Pac carried that match. The established superstar carried that match, not because Stephen Amell couldn't wrestle, because as we've seen in the years since, Stephen Amell can get in the ring and go if he really wants to. Not technically, but
that's just how it goes.
Dippity hardcore style. He has it. So Bad Bunny showed though that he, like I said, he put in the work. Is all I can say. Your thoughts, sir?
Yeah, man. It's very evident the amount of work that he put into this shit. There was a lot of rumblings in the business and in WWE that Bad Bunny was putting a lot of work into this shit, obviously from people like Randy Orton and a lot of other people saying that he put a lot of focus into this and a lot of training and a lot of practice into this. And it's very self-evident. I have this notion, and it's not always like the golden rule, but it's something that you can kind of pick up on. And sometimes a wrestler is only as good as how much they're willing to sell for somebody else. Bad Bunny's selling was better than some wrestlers that I've seen nowadays that wrestle at a AAA level. Bad Bunny's selling was more convincing to me that Bad Bunny was actually in physical fucking pain than most wrestlers nowadays. And that is not a jab at wrestling. That's just a testament to how much it looked like Bad Bunny was putting himself into this shit.
Yep.
And so I'll gladly go back on my words that this dude did great here. This is so much of a far cry from a shitty dive at the Rumble. This was fucking great.
Anybody who thinks that this was just a celebrity trying to get more rub is vastly mistaken. I genuinely think, from what I've heard from behind the scenes stuff to watching that match, that this was something where this was a celebrity who has respect for the business. He loves the business, and he saw they WWE and them saw an opportunity to make his WrestleMania dreams come true. And for them to get some pub with his particular, crowd as one of the popular music artists out there. And it didn't feel forced like it did with Donald Trump, like it did with so many other, like it did with Snooki when she had her little WrestleMania moment and shit like that. It felt like it was natural. You got a build, you got a story, the Miz is an amazing storyteller, and you got a great match to close out the feud. Now, if we don't ever see Bad Bunny in a wrestling ring again, let this be his one shining moment, and bravo to him.
Yeah, man. Honestly, man. But one more thing before we go, though. I had an interesting thought, and honestly, I need to get this shit out of my system.
Okay.
Now, especially with what you said about Priest being hardly cleared to do this, I understand why they didn't do it, and I understand completely every reason that they had not to. So I don't blame them. But in my honest opinion, with what we saw in isolation just between the two of them and how good that they worked, just the two of them, this match could have easily just been The Miz versus Bad Bunny, and we would have been fine.
Yeah.
Because I think it
100%.
Is very clear that the reliability of The Miz and the safety and the level that The Miz works at and the ability of his ability to carry Bad Bunny to that kind of match, even with that little snippet that we saw, just the two of them, I honestly believe that could have been just fine. And I don't blame them for not thinking it, but Bad Bunny definitely had the skills to back that up. You know what I mean?
And here's the thing about it. Maybe we're not done. Maybe they made this a tag team match because next year we are going to get one-on-one Miz versus Bad Bunny, because while he's on tour, he's going to have a wrestling ring with him and going to be practicing and doing his thing and meeting up with guys in different cities along the way. And fucking next year we're going to get Miz versus Bad Bunny for the United States Championship.
I wouldn't even be mad.
I wouldn't be mad at all. All right, so the night one closed historically, and I'm going to say historically because of this. Whether people like it or not, it was history that Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks, as two black women, headlined a WrestleMania, whether it be half of WrestleMania night one versus night two, but they headlined and they brought the house down. I wouldn't say, like I said, I wouldn't necessarily say match of the night, but it was close. It was right up there, and it saw Bianca Belair take the SmackDown Women's Championship in a changing of the guard from Sasha Banks. Your thoughts, sir?
Yeah, Bianca Belair has done a lot to show her talents, both as a compelling face and as a raw athlete. You know, I feel like Bianca Belair has shown an unbearable amount of progression in the ring. And you know, it's so interesting watching the character she was in NXT, and it feels like that was so much more shallow than the character that we have running now, and I really like that. I really like that, and so I don't have a lot of respect for Sasha Banks for a lot of reasons outside of the ring, but at the end of the day, I respect the amount of like what this means,
right,
and what it means to so many other women, young or old, you know, because I understand that 60 years ago, the idea of two women of dark color main eventing WrestleMania in any sense of the word, not fucking possible, not even slightly thinkable.
Two women headlining
WrestleMania. And now it happened on such a scale, at such an amazing work rate too, you know what I mean?
Amazing, for sure, 100%. All right, so that closes out 9-1. I can definitely say I'm happy that Bianca Belair won that title. She deserves it. Montez Ford came out and celebrated with her off camera. So would have loved to see that. But let's talk about night two. And you talk about finishes being changed last minute. The report I've heard is that this matchup was supposed to go to The Fiend for literally right up until the morning of night two. And then Vince and Bruce Pritchard changed the finish for whatever reason. They still don't know what reason why.
To the chagrin of literally everybody else. And I wish that was one of my stupid little sarcastic, ironic, witty statements, but it's not.
It's not.
Literally, the reports are, to the chagrin of everyone around them, they made this decision pretty much with everyone still speaking out against it.
Like, to be honest, like you said, it doesn't make sense. Like, it didn't. You have The Fiend, Randy Orton set him on fire because he couldn't beat him in December. And then you have all this shit with Alexa Bliss go down. You show us exactly how powerful The Fiend is. And then all of a sudden, Alexa Bliss turns on him? Like, okay.
Yeah, man.
Sorry, my Echo Dot just lit up because I said the name. But yeah, and it didn't make no sense why all of a sudden she turns on The Fiend and Orton wins. And it was just like, oh, okay. And then you had the whole thing with her with the Christ helmet on and bleeding and losing the black blood. And okay.
This was so good up to this point.
Here's the thing about it. Exactly. Here's the thing about it. You could have saved the whole thing with Alexa Bliss flipping on him for the Raw after WrestleMania.
Easily.
You could have still had him get the win and just save that for the Raw after. I'm not against the storyline of her turning on him. You know, I'm just against the timing of it being it happened at WrestleMania.
At fucking Mania.
I thought that was something that was a match that should have went to the Fiend. But
yeah,
I'm not Vince McMahon. I'm not Bruce Pritchard. I don't run WWE. So
my disappointment is quite immeasurable. You know, I feel like the Fiend in so many ways is the level of depth of one single character that they really fucking need for the current generation, man. Like, they really need this kind of character, not because creepy, but because this is my eldritch abomination that I can lean back on for this kind of storytelling.
Yeah.
You cannot keep putting down that and then questioning why it's not fucking believable.
Right.
And even if the point of this was to flip it around, and that's what, if I'm not mistaken, that's what was going on. The story with this was that we had this weird story going on where Randy was the heel and the Fiend was the face, right?
Right.
So why the fuck, in a story where about pro wrestling here, this is pro wrestling, we come to a story at Mania where the heel wins over and over and over, and they don't get their fucking comeuppance in the end.
Yeah. 100%.
That to me is the biggest pointless thread that you can create in professional wrestling. Yeah. And they fucking did it. Yeah. So now it feels like we've spent the last year building up to the Fiend standing up to Randy Orton, all for Alexa Bliss to say, "No, you, the end."
Yeah.
It's
pretty much.
It's nonsensical. And the fact that it was thrown in about 6 minutes angers me beyond belief.
Beyond belief. They could have given us a hell of a match. I know that Wyatt and Randy Orton can work, so
they're capable of it.
For time's sake, we'll kind of gloss over this match, primarily because I didn't like the finish. I thought Natalya and Tamina should have won the belts. I'm getting kind of the Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler holding the belts is getting kind of old to me. Like, even though you had that gap where Charlotte and Asuka held the belt for a little bit, just them holding the belt is getting kind of old to me. And I thought this was a good moment to put it on and give Natalya her little moment, and Tamina basically her first women's championship in WWE and her long time with WWE. I thought it was the perfect time. And once again, missing striking when the iron's hot on that one.
Yeah, man. Just to do it lightning round style, you know, I have a lot of respect for 3/4 of the women working this match, you know, except for the Bosch machine. I'm really much like you. I'm very tired of the team of Shia, you know, Shayna and Nia. You know, I'm really tired of that team, and I'm not tired of them having the titles. I'm tired of them being a team as a whole. I feel like they both work better alone. And the ending of this match just feels like we're belaboring an already shitty team, and that's pretty much all I have to say about it.
All right, so we'll move on to what was possibly one of the most emotional matches of the night in Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, in which I have to give the WWE credit. I asked the question at the very beginning of all of this last week on Raw, why the fuck is Logan Paul involved in this match at all? The payoff to that question was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life. And Logan Paul completely botching taking a stunner. Like, bro, all you have to do is curl into the fetal position and drop with him. Like, I'm not a wrestling expert. Back. I'm not a wrestling coach. I'm not somebody who's ever done anything in the ring. But I know enough about wrestling that if somebody were to give me a stunner, I know enough to go into the fetal position, roll with it. When we hit the ground, bounce up and land on my back.
Dead.
Logan Paul took that and made it look like Kevin Owens broke his fucking neck. Like his body was sitting like this in his head. And Kevin Owens still had his head down, and his body was like at that angle. And I'm like, that's not how you take a stunner, dude. Like,
who taught you how to do this? You need to go talk to Scott Hall, bro. About how to sell a stunner.
Pretty much, or talk to I don't know, you famous. There's out of 22 million subscribers, there's got to be somebody that can teach you how to take that shit properly. But at the end of the day, it was great to see Logan Paul get that. Just because I'm not a big Logan Paul fan, and Kevin Owens killed it as always. As fight Owens fight. So your thoughts on this match?
Oh my god, I have so much to say about this match, but I'm gonna try to blow through it quick. I'm really sad that this match had to happen for the expense to bring Logan Paul in, but I'm happy that he was brought in solely to eat a motherfucking stunner. I wish a million times over that I could see these two fight each other at Mania. If I had to see these two fight each other at Mania for the next 3 times over, I'd pay to see that shit over and over again. I could watch these guys fight for the rest of my life and still be frothing out the mouth. Because even now, after watching these dudes fight for 16, 17 years, they still pulled out new shit for this match. And you don't get to see it often, but you see Sami Zayn here throwing brain busters out like it's nobody's fucking business, and it's fucking wonderful. You saw him. You saw Kevin Owens just for a millisecond tease that package Panda pile driver, and he didn't go for it. But you saw him tease it though,
that we did.
And it kills me now because you can literally see that even when Sami Zayn is in his Zeb Coulter phase, if they give him the time, he can work in that ring. God damn it!
Oh yeah.
So despite all things, for me, I feel like this was the best match that was well done in the ring, despite this being like the least built up match storyline wise. I fucking loved it.
Amen. Now the next match saw its winner become I think a 2 or 3 time United States champion in the Celtic Warrior Sheamus, defeating Riddle. Now I read an article shortly after this match, or shortly after WrestleMania, where it discussed the fact that basically they needed or wanted to get the belt off of Riddle for some odd reason.
Yeah.
I know that initially Riddle was never supposed to win the belt in the first place. It was supposed to be Keith Lee. Okay. We were both correct. It was supposed to be Keith Lee in that triple threat match that was supposed to win it, but he went down with injury, so he didn't end up winning it.
You got the same report as me then. Good shit.
Yeah. And so therefore Sheamus took it off of Riddle, I assume to give it some more legitimacy, because I thought Riddle gave it a little bit of legitimacy, to give it some more legitimacy before Keith Lee comes back and takes it from Sheamus.
Yeah. It's hard to really quite say where they look like they're going to be going with this.
Yeah.
But I'm a huge fucking Sheamus mark, and I have been ever since I was a kid. And I'm very real with the fact that we probably only have 4 years left of Sheamus. For those who don't know, Sheamus has the same spinal tap disease that so many wrestlers have had before, and it pretty much just puts your body on a fucking clock of when you can wrestle. And so I'm real with the fact that we're on limited time with Sheamus, and so they could throw every title on Sheamus's shoulder next week, and I'd still be okay with it because I feel like Sheamus has broken his fucking ass for this business, and he's pretty much losing his body for it at this point.
Yep. Amen. So we'll see where they move with that moving forward. Now, the next guy, him and yes, I know it was a Nigerian, but I'm going to call it Wakanda drum fight.
Okay, I was the only one.
For the Intercontinental Championship, because I don't care what he says. His accent does not sound Nigerian. It sounds Wakandan.
That's Wakandan.
It sounds Wakandan. But he got the win with a debuting Dabo Kato, which we don't know if that's what they're still calling him.
Oh, fucking no. He's got a new name. I forgot what it was. They said it. I mean, they didn't say it, but it's official. I don't know what it is. Okay. It's like Admiral some shit, but it's horrible.
Yeah, you have to let me know. Because I haven't seen anything on it yet. But he came out after Big E was putting the beat down on Apollo Crews. And actually, this match brings up one particular point, and this is not sidetracking too much, but real quick. Have you noticed WWE has gone away from getting the big win in your hometown?
Dude, that's literally. I was having a talk with with my family. I was having that same talk about that, and so we were talking, and and my mom was like, "Big E's gonna win. It's his hometown," and I'm like, "I don't know, dude. These last few years, they've been going on the opposite, and every time they go in someone's hometown, they have the fucking heel win for that cheap heat."
Yep, and so it was one of those type of things where I was just like, okay. I kind of felt like Apollo was going to win it, but they really gave him that heel victory by having whoever come out and knock out Big E in order for Crews to win the title. So bravo to them on storytelling as far as that goes. It really puts him over as a shitty human being and a heel.
Yeah,
so,
honestly, it does.
And if he could just get rid of the Wakandan accent, we would all be okay.
Stop the shit. Can't take you seriously, man.
Just like when Kofi dropped the Jamaican accent, all right?
Yep, exactly.
and became Kofi Kingston, baby.
Mhm.
The next match I felt was.
Oh wait, hold up. I didn't get
Okay.
thoughts.
Oh, sorry, go for it.
It's all good. I really wish they got more time on this because seeing it end so shortly, I don't know about you,
Yeah, 6
really
minutes
jarred
was
me
really
just a
short.
little bit. I wish they had some more time there. And more importantly, what the fuck is the difference between a hardcore match with the drums and a Nigerian drum fight? Because it
Nobody
just looks
even
like a
got
hardcore
beaten
match.
like a drum.
They didn't put anyone's face through the drums. They didn't beat anyone with the drum. Nobody got slammed on a drum. Why the fuck were they there?
Useless fucking props.
I'm mad, man. I'm mad. All right, we can keep rolling now.
All right. The next match I felt for me was, as far as the females go, was match of the whole pay-per-view.
Yep.
Rhea Ripley and Asuka brought the fucking house down. These girls, and once again, it's about that. To me, it's the same thing as it was with Io Shirai and Raquel Gonzalez. You had the big girl versus small girl matchup, and both are lionesses just going at it. And
Yeah.
man, they gave us beauty on that night. They gave us
No
pure
doubt.
beauty. And at the end of the day, my girl Rhea Ripley takes home the Raw Women's Championship. And you know what's hilarious? Is my daughter on my WWE 2K20 is currently the Raw Women's Championship, and her moveset is Rhea Ripley's moveset.
That's so good.
Yeah.
That's so good. It's
What's
gotta
your
feel
thoughts
good.
on the match, sir?
Man, I'm a huge fan of them both. So I really wanted to see, knowing what they're both capable of, I wanted to see some good shit. And I did. I wish they would have had more time, but I understand this is Mania. Time is not exactly, that easy to give out.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that if they had more time, both of these women would be capable of putting on a 5-star match. And I feel like we saw a good snippet of that, And I don't say it a lot, but, I really want to see this again. I want to see Rhea Ripley versus Asuka again with different stipulations, with a different story. Switch the fucking heel and face dynamic. I feel like there's a lot of potential between just the both of them to really put on some amazing fucking matches. And although I wasn't ready for it to begin with, I feel like Rhea Ripley is really, really going to have a place for herself in the main roster. And I hope that's not fucking ruined the moment Charlotte gets back.
Well, that we'll talk about Raw later.
Oh boy.
Yeah, the Queen made her return on Monday Night Raw, and yeah. So the closing match of the night saw Roman Reigns, Edge, and Daniel Bryan put on what, again, match of the year candidate. Easy. Straight off the back. You can call it 4-star. You can call it 4.5 star. You can call it 5-star. You can call it whatever you want. It was a hell of a match. Whether you like that finish or not, they gave you heel Roman Reigns. They made you believe that Daniel Bryan and Edge ever had an opportunity to take that title from him. They made you believe that they did. And then they gave you exactly what you knew they was going to give you from the beginning. A Roman Reigns, what felt like dominant victor.
Yes.
So
God. You done? Oh, okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay,
Your
cool.
thoughts.
Oh, say no more. Okay. Man, I agree, man. I watched the match. I finished the match and I sat back for a minute and I was like, man, is this what I wanted? Am I pleased with this? And it actually genuinely took me a fucking day of just looking on it and thinking about it and mulling it over. And I was like, nah, this is fucking awesome. And I sat back and I'm like, there's so many times where, like, as much as there are good stories to be told on the WWE platform, the 50-50 booking works at its detriment over and over again. It makes them have the inability to build any strong position at the top of the card, whether it be building a face that you can get behind or a fucking heel that is actually a badass.
Right.
What they have done here is smash that fucking convention to walls, and I fucking love it. Roman Reigns, over the past 8 months, has looked like a fucking wrestling god. Every ring he steps in, he makes it his own. And honestly, we got to keep that rolling. Honestly, like this has to keep rolling. And I thought about it over and over again. And like, I don't want to see the championship hot potato on a basis like this. I want to see it have a mainstay like that again. And if that's Roman, I'm for that. Because Roman's win was so fucking convincing here. And honestly, it's like, I don't want to compare it to anything. I don't want to be that nerd. But the dominance of Roman Reigns here, in my eyes, felt damn near as dominant as like 2017 Kazuchika Okada. Like the pure, the mystique, the dominance, like the overpowered nature of how his character feels when compared to everyone else. That's what it felt like again for me, and it felt fucking great.
Amazing. Like Roman Reigns, like whether people like it or not, Roman Reigns makes an amazing heel. And we can spend the last couple of minutes of the show talking about this.
Yeah, let's do this.
This match specifically was impacted greatly by having live fans.
Yeah.
The interactions between Roman Reigns and the crowd were some of the best moments. The interactions between Edge and Daniel Bryan when the crowd, yes.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
it's so nice. And it to have that. Now everybody's talking about, oh, boo, they're going back to the Thunderdome. Actually, I like this new Thunderdome. Even though it doesn't have live fans, I like the new Thunderdome at
I like the style.
with the fans up on side of the ramp and everything. But at the end of the day, man, like it was so fucking epic. Like, and it made for everything watching the fans. This is awesome. This is yes. Give me all of it.
Yes.
If they only do this for pay-per-views, I think that would make it something special. If they kept the live audience out of there until crowds can fully come back to stadiums and they're back on the road, and they left the crowds out of, they just did the Thunderdome thing, and then for pay-per-views they did live crowds like that in stadiums.
For me, it's like even if it has to be broken down to a big five thing, only the big five get crowds, fuck it, I'm down with that. I'll take that. You know what I mean? Yep. Because it makes all the difference. Hearing the crowd non-artificially and organically gear up when Edge stops and positions himself in the corner and starts pulling his hair back and shit. Magical. Yes. Fucking magical, right? Like all in all, it's like it's a wonder to me that when WWE stops and puts the plans on a run months ahead of time, sticks with the plans and builds that character convincingly, it's almost like they're working at their best and they can actually build a compelling fucking character. It kills me. Real quick. It kills me because you see the potential of Owens and Zayn squandered because there's no build, because there's no epic vignette to play beforehand. But then you see this match, which now, looking back on it, is where all of the depth in this match really fucking matters at. You know what I mean? Go ham, though. Go ham.
No, I was gonna say, actually, with the Owens, if this isn't the end of Owens versus Zayn, I ain't mad.
Yeah.
Like, if this is just the start of a build, like, I can see building a feud that starts just before WrestleMania, leads to a match at Mania, but then continues, because, I'm thinking we're going to have a rematch, because you heard that the next pay-per-view is called WrestleMania Backlash. So I'm thinking we may end up with another rematch of whatchamacallit.
That's true.
And as we were talking about with Sheamus earlier too, we may see Keith Lee come back before the WrestleMania Backlash, and then you have Riddle get his rematch in a triple threat match with Keith Lee and Sheamus, and then Keith Lee wins the belt off of Sheamus by pinning Riddle.
If you call that shit like I called Cross and Balor, you got to make sure you.
I'll put a stamp on it. Yeah, I'll put a stamp on it. Keith Lee, I think we will see that match. I think we'll see Keith Lee. If we see Keith, I'll only put this stipulation on it. If we don't see Keith Lee return between now and the pay-per-view, obviously it's not going to happen. But if we see Keith Lee return, I think that's going to be the match we see at WrestleMania Backlash. But we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, man. Bold prediction.
But other than that, I can't necessarily say this was the most epic WrestleMania I've ever seen in my life, but it was definitely a good WrestleMania. I was proud of everything. You know what? The next wrestling show, we'll have to get to the Hall of Fame class. We're kind of running out of time.
We'll talk about that.
The whole effing show, baby. I want to say.
Oh, wait. Hold up. Just real quick, if you shall let me. Moment of the entire fucking show, Rob Van Dam pulling up to Matt Riddle with the Rob Van Dam rolling papers, and then you see Fucking Kali, take the rolling papers and stash them.
Yeah, that was great. That was great. I actually, in honor of Rob Van Dam, I was saying all over Facebook and Twitter this weekend that in honor of Rob Van Dam, I have to admit that his best theme music was his TNA theme music.
Oh,
like, as much as I love playing Player of the Game, as much as I love that song, or we're not, but Winner of the Game, as much as I love that song, and as much as it sticks in my head, I'm sorry. That song slapped so and hard. That Rob Van Dam.
Whole effing show. Yeah, good shit.
Man, and here's the thing about it. When I heard it for the first time, and really listened to it, was the night he won the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, and Hogan and all of them came down to the ring, and they were just everybody was in the ring, and the whole crowd was just. I was just like, I love this song.
Oh my god,
I love this song. The energy in this song is
wrestling.
amazing. Exactly. And I'd always been a fan of Rob Van Dam anyway, so that played into that anyway. But anyway, we'll close on that. We'll close on this. What was your favorite moment of WrestleMania weekend, from Takeover to night 2 of WrestleMania? What was your favorite moment?
Oh my fucking god, man. Honestly, I don't think I'm marked out as hard as watching Bad Bunny hit that Canadian Destroyer as picture perfect as that. Just to go into a 15-second, like, man, I feel like I've seen the Canadian Destroyer scene. I've seen it done a million fucking times over. I've seen it from the top rope, through a table, on a ladder, this and that. I have never, ever marked out for a Canadian Destroyer aside for that fucking moment.
Yeah. Hey, I can't even give you a better moment for me. Like, that isn't more about emotion than it is about the moment itself. Because like Bianca Belair, watching her, that teared me up. That really touched my heart to watch. She deserved it. But you're right. Like, I didn't mark out at all for anything as hard as I did for that Bad Bunny Destroyer, because that was the moment in which I made my decision that I was happy with that entire match. Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, that's Sealed. It. This dude has. And yes, I'm glad you're here, Bad Bunny. I'm sorry I made fun of your music. I still don't understand the shit. I still don't think I heard you say Booker T at any point during that song, but I'm glad you made an appearance in the WWE. I very rarely ever say that about celebrities. I think Stephen Amell was the last celebrity I was truly happy about their appearance in WWE. But Bad Bunny, if this leads to more matches, WrestleMania matches with you every now and then in the future, I'm here for it.
Oh man, please.
So, all right, so that's going to do it for us this week. We'll be back a little bit later this week. I know we're posting a little late on Wednesday night, and we're going up on the YouTube on Thursday, so it's going to be a little late. But you'll get 2 shows this week, as we'll be recording again on Saturday for a show on Sunday about Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh man.
And then we'll also be talking Split, the next movie in the M. Night Shyamalan trilogy. All right, so be sure to join us then. Alpha, any last words for him?
My people, you know how it goes. Do not ask me how to talk to women, because I'm just going to hit you with the classic. You look her in the eyes and you ask her nicely, have you ever had your asshole licked by a fat man in an overcoat? All right.
Love it.
People, be safe. We'll be back again in a few days to hit you with the flip side of the show. Peace.
Oh, man.